Hey, Rocco, what were some of the factors that led to going with Bailey over Joe or Kent or anybody else?
Well, he's had a great year, so I think that's one thing. We have 5 starters that have done a real nice job for us all the way around. So I can't tell you it was an easy decision picking amongst them. But Bailey is a guy that he offers a pretty unique look. He's pitched real well lately. He came off of the little break that he had later on in the year, really strong. Overall, we just really like what we've seen. They haven't seen him lately. I think it's been a couple of years since they faced him. And that's all kind of woven into it. But again, we picked the best possible guy that we could opt for Game 1. And we're going to roll with Bailey, and we feel good about it.
On the second row in the middle.
Rocco, how have you seen Bailey evolve as a pitcher over these past 3 years?
Well, it's kind of like a question it's not a very straightforward answer, because the day he showed up in the big leagues to pitch for us, he was already like a somewhat similar version of what he is right now. He's a very unique guy, obviously, because of his size and his delivery, where the ball comes out of. That's not typical. He's a strike thrower. He doesn't get it done with pure velocity, but there are times where he gets it up, 93, 94 at times. But his ability to actually pitch is a huge strength of his. He does a lot of different things to get guys out. He can change speeds. The changeup has become a good pitch for him, a pitch that he's used a little more than he did originally. And he threw his breaking ball when he first came up a little softer, and he's found a way to tighten that up too. So he's made some good pitching adjustments to make himself even better than when he arrived. But when he arrived, he was already good.
Stay in the middle.
Rocco, you've had 2 tough conversations with Bailey this year, once in March to send him to the minors, again in September to send him down again. What kind of context does that add to this moment and the meaning of the moment to you?
Yeah, he's a guy that he's the epitome of the tough-mindedness, and a guy that he doesn't dwell on things. He's very much a guy that's just looking for the things that, what can he do? What can he control? What can he take advantage of to help himself in his career, and not ever get brought down by anything. The things that he had to deal with this year, this goes all the way back into the off season for him. When I had a conversation in the off season, when I called him and kind of explained to him what the rotation looked like going into the year, but he didn't necessarily take that as a huge negative of any kind. He actually took it, built off of it, had something to kind of look towards and point towards. When we called upon him, I mean, he was throwing great. He was ready to go. He pitched great all year long. Every single time he pitches, we have a chance to win. And I mean, that's what you want. I mean, he goes out there. He's a very competitive guy. He makes adjustments very well. He makes them on the fly. And if something's working for him, he'll take advantage of that. And if something's not, he has other weapons. So there's a lot of things he can do.
Hey, Skip. He mentioned that he literally found out that he was going to be the opening starter like about 30, 45 minutes ago. And I was wondering, is there was a reasoning behind that to leave him all the way to this point? Is that strategically just to throw off the opponent, or because really you didn't know which way to go until 30 to 45 minutes ago?
Yeah, I wanted to talk to them in person, and so we had a travel day yesterday, and instead of trying to get everything done then and having every deliberation and conversation yesterday, we just discussed a little bit, got on the plane, flew here, spent some time last night and even this morning talking about the decision we were going to make, and I wasn't I didn't come to the decision until probably 10 minutes before I called him into my office.
And if I just one quick one, everybody talks about the pitchers facing Verlander and what say you. How about you facing a future Hall of Famer manager, Dusty Baker? Does that mean something special to you to have such a formidable opponent in front of you, a Hall of Famer opponent in front of you?
Yeah, I have an incredible amount of respect for Dusty as a manager and as a person, and not just the things he's accomplished, but who he is and the way he makes you feel when you're around him. That's not just for his players. He does that for everybody in the game that he's been around. Even just having a conversation with him, you get the feeling that he's a very special guy, and you can see how he's had a lot of the success that he's had. So he's a guy I've always watched on the other side of the field and tried to pay attention to and see just how he approaches different things and manages his team. Everyone's going to manage differently, and every team operates differently, but he's done a lot of things right over the years. That's for sure.
Going far left over here. No, two. One, go ahead.
I know it's the playoffs. Every player, I'm assuming, understands that. But is it a tough conversation with Joe Ryan, set to pitch Game 3, the last round, and not getting the call yet?
It was not a very challenging conversation. I was pretty straightforward, and he was very open to basically anything that I had for him. Like basically the feeling I got when he left the room was, anything we need, he'll be ready. And every series is different, so this isn't just like we line 5 guys up on towards the end of September, and that's the way we're going to roll as long as we play. No, we're gonna move some things around if we think it's the right thing to do. But Joe is lined up to pitch for us. He has something. He has a plan in front of him, and he'll be fine. So he said, "I'll thumbs up. I'm ready to go."
Stay on the left.
Rocco, Bailey wasn't on the roster, so obviously there's a move. Can you tell us what that is, and do you expect any other roster moves before this hearing?
Oh, this is easy, Phil. No. We'll know soon enough, and we're still talking about it. We're still discussing. Yep.
Go back to the middle.
What do you think the national audience is about to learn about Jhoan Duran, watching him blow guys away in the ninth?
Well, there's nobody else in the world that does what he does, and I've said that about him before. So if the people that have been around us, he's like a one man. He's like an explosion. He goes out on the mound and he goes at hitters with things they probably don't know exactly what they're looking at either, because they haven't seen it before either. And he usually comes out on top. And when he does it, he doesn't just get the outs. It kind of looks the part too. The ball's moving, and he can take over a game, both with the results and the feel of the game when he arrives in the ball game. So I look forward to watching him throw several times in this series.
Did you guys learn anything about his ability to rise up to that moment in the playoff environment particularly?
I never really had any doubts about him. I mean, this is a guy that arrived in the big leagues on the scene and immediately kind of took over a late inning role for us. And I think he loved it from the beginning. I mean, he came in, he did it better than almost anybody in baseball. He's doing it again just like that. Biggest moment of his career. He goes out there and he gets it done. He cuts his finger, he's bleeding. The trainers are on the field, fixing his hand. He throws a couple warm-up pitches. Took a couple of pitches to kind of find it and settle back in, but when he did, the feel of the game when he's in the game is different than most pitchers.
Go on the front right with Christy here.
I had a couple things to, follow up on his roster question. Is there any chance that Buxton will be included in this series' roster?
We'll see. I'm not going to answer the roster questions right now, but Buck's going to go out. I think he's going to hit a live BP today. We're going to have a live BP session set up right after our BP and ground balls and our pitchers throw and everything today. So that'll be 3 to 5. I think Buck's going to take part in that today. But as far as the decisions that we end up making on our roster, we'll finalize those tomorrow.